T-minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Let's get ready to sucker!
Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the number, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of pine. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, yeah. Big time, big time, big time, big time. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. Lot of sun, smoky in the air, that's a lot of crime. It's running over with the dollar signs. Try to take it from me. Big time. Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Running up the numbers, that's a lot of grind. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind. I'm big time, lot of shine. Smoky in the air, that's a lot of crime. Pockets running over with the dollar sign. Try to take it from me, from me, from me, from me, from me. Big time, number 9. Diamonds in my teeth, I got a lot of shine. Numbers, that's a lot of crime. Try to take it from me, must be out your mind.
Uh-oh.
Welcome to the show, baby.
Unbelievable. Rob, how are you?
Good. How you guys doing?
Doing wonderful, man. Flying blind once again. Naturally, when we go into the intro, we get all kinds of issues. Quinn's back there scrambling, but nonetheless, it's a Thursday. We're here at LeBray in Leavittsburg, and we are watching the Vikings practice behind us because tomorrow night Brookfield comes to town, baby. And what happens there, Billy? You say that's a pretty big game around here.
It's I mean, we're here for prime time tonight, so it's got to be a big game. We only show up to big games. Well, we show up to every game, and then we promote
Bingo.
Big games. But yeah, so it's going to be a big game. Homecoming night for LeBray. A 4 seed and a 5 seed matchup in Division 6. So
That ain't bad.
You know, I think it's a pretty big deal.
I mean, that's a pretty big game. I mean,
well, considering last year, the last time they played, it was 55-54 in the playoffs.
if you had one game to cover, would you pick this game?
Yes,
I would.
that's why I'm going to be here tomorrow night.
Just a little bit of this guy.
Yes, it was.
A little bit of shade.
I'm
tree.
covering Poland and Lakeview. I'm going to start telling jokes by the second quarter.
Well, just make sure they're not dirty. That's all I'm asking. That's all I care about. Keep them out of the food industry realm. And we're
I'm coming in hot.
I won't say anything about these pretzels are making me thirsty.
We're off to a hot start.
Yeah, hot start here on a Thursday. If Paul pops in, Quinn, let us know.
Paul's in.
Oh, Paul's here?
Paul's in. Yeah. He's muted, but he's here.
Good awareness.
I told you that. That's what I said. Paul popped in.
Oh, all I saw was this.
Oh, yeah, I was
Did you hear that?
scrambling that a little bit.
You
too.
did hear that. It is national, and listen, we're gonna go dark for a second, but we're gonna bring it right back to the light. It is National Depression Awareness Day. So, my question to you guys is, from a sporting event standpoint, what is the biggest depressed game you've ever watched? Like, lost or won, or your team didn't win, and a team that you hated did. What was the most depressed you've ever been at a sporting event because one team lost or one team won? I'll go with you first.
I don't have feelings.
Shut up.
It's got to be
World Series, Indians?
Yeah, I'd have to go back to the World Series 2016 when we were up 3-1, and just the whole terribleness that it ended up unfolding it to an L. But at least I had, at that point, it's kind of weird because we had something to celebrate in 2016. So
Yeah, I've heard.
But yeah, that was because to me that was a bigger deal than LeBron and the Cavs winning
the Indians would have been for sure.
Well, it would have been bigger probably for a lot of people, but maybe not for like people like Quinn, but for a lot of other people,
I don't think
most people, it would have been a bigger deal
because it wasn't expected. Like, people expected LeBron to win.
Yeah, the expectations were not as high as it was for the Cavaliers. I mean, that's for certain. But I think it was also like we were up 3-1. Like, we anticipated to win at that point. When you're up 3-1 in baseball, you know what I mean?
In any sport.
Yeah.
To me, it's any sport.
Yeah.
If you're up 3-1 in any sport, you should win.
Which is weird because it almost evened out since we were down 1-3 to the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, that joke didn't age well.
Did not age well at all. No, it did not.
How about you, Rob? What's the worst depressed you've been for a sporting event?
I remember watching, I think it was January 5th, 2003. I'm sitting there in my living room watching Cleveland go to Pittsburgh, and it was the first round of the playoffs or wild card or whatever, I forget. But we're up big, and I'll never forget the feeling. I want to say, I can't remember, I think we were 21-7, third quarter, and even my ex-wife goes, like, I'm sitting on the couch with a pillow, and I'm nervous as hell. She goes, "What are you so worried about?" I go, "Do you understand what we're watching here? I don't care if we're up 50-7. And when Dennis Northcutt drops that 3rd and 16, I knew it was over. Knew it. And it was so bad. I was so depressed. I went in my room. I shut the door. I told her, I said, if anybody calls, do not come get me. This, back in the day when nobody had cell phones yet. And I didn't go to work the next day. I was working down at BG Allen Fireworks, so half of us are Browns fans, half of us are Steelers fans, and I took off Monday. I was an emotional basket case that Sunday night and that Monday. Worst feeling ever.
I remember that very well on the other side of the table. But Quinn, what about you?
Mine was probably 07 Colts Titans, last game of the year. Browns were really good that year. Last time they were really good. And all the Colts had to do was win, and we're in. And they start Jim Sorgi, and the Titans beat them in Indy.
That game depressed you?
Yeah, because the Browns that was the first time like I actually remember the Browns being kind of good. And they were supposed to be in the playoffs.
Wow. 07.
I wasn't old enough in 03. I remember that game, but I don't remember anything special like Rob does.
Yeah, you were like, what, knee-high to a duck?
I was about 10 years old.
Knee-high to a duck. I'm still knee-high to a duck.
Oh, you said it.
I'm going to go, the Super Bowl that the Steelers, both the Cowboys and the Green Bay Packers, they're equal to me. But the Cowboys hit a little harder because I had some Jeffrey dollars on the line, literally, with my mom. And Susie didn't play around. Steelers lost that game. Jeffrey dollars are still MIA, gone. So I was pretty depressed because not only my team lost, but I lost all my Jeffrey dollars for my birthday. Thank you very much. So they're gone. They're gone. So I was depressed. But when the Packers beat us in, what was that, 45? Super Bowl 45, something like that. That wasn't good either.
If I had to like really pick a game that like I experienced, it would probably be my last high school football game, because it's like the last time, at that point, like it's it. And ironic enough that it was against LeBray. At LeBray, not at this stadium. That was a different place.
I never had that experience. I've never known that it was my last time doing something, ever, and that's why it's a little bit weird. You know what I mean? Like I've always wanted that feeling. Like, okay, you prep yourself up, you're gonna go out on top. I've never had it. I
had because we were at a point where like we were pretty good and we weren't gonna make the playoffs unless so many things happened. We were the 10 spot, and we just couldn't get in unless crazy things happened that weren't going to happen. So we knew at that point, we went to the playoffs the year before. We knew at this point we weren't going to get in no matter what we did. But at least at the end of the day, at least we played our rival, and it was a big dub for us. But yeah, it was emotional for everybody. And
was there tears for you?
No, I don't shed tears.
You do. That, I mean, a moment like that, it has to be.
No, I just don't talk to me. Being over
That's
here.
it?
Yeah, for a while.
You've never cried?
No, I don't cry.
Not even at the Notebook?
What's that?
Stop it.
One of the greatest movies ever made.
Yeah.
Okay.
100% chance he cried during the Notebook. You can check Storm Tracker 21 for that. Guaranteed. 100%.
We're going to have to check it here tonight.
Yeah, I know. It is not looking promising here, boys. Rob, have you ever gone through anything like that? If I can get it out. Like you knew it's your last time doing something and you're like, you just kind of prepped for it a different way? Uh-oh. Did we lose him?
I think he's frozen.
He's frozen. Is he frozen or are we frozen?
No, I think he's frozen because he's not moving. We're moving. I see all of us moving.
Okay. Is Paul back?
Paul is back right now. I don't know if he has sound yet.
There we go.
Hey!
Whatever.
Hi, Paul.
Hi, gentlemen.
Welcome to the show.
Yes.
We typically start at 3 o'clock.
I was on. I could see you guys, but my microphone wasn't working again, and I was trying to change the settings and whatever. I mean, I was talking, and I'm like, nobody's acknowledging I'm saying a word. So,
well, I got some breaking news for you. We have a microphone for you. It came in today, and you will now have a brand new microphone that you can plug into your computer. So that should not happen anymore. You should sound just as good as I do on days, because it's my microphone, Paul.
Hot damn. Hot damn.
So there you go. Never again.
All right. My most depressing moment was in sports. I would say it was my sophomore year in high school. We had a really, really good football team, and we lost on a last-second kind of Hail Mary touchdown to Springfield. So they went 10-0 and went to the playoffs, and we were 9-1 and didn't make the playoffs because that was when only 4 teams made the playoffs. And they got their tasting of a JFK ass whooping that we took the year before. So they went up to Boardman and got their asses kicked by JFK. So
what about from a viewership standpoint? What have you watched that made you depressed from a sports?
Oh man, I'd probably say just, and I hate to try to, I hope I'm not jinxing it, but well, no, you know what? I'll say it. It was when the Raiders played in the Super Bowl against Tampa, and as bad as it was that they got beat, I kind of felt it was almost like a taste of their own medicine because you traded away the coach. You traded your head coach for draft picks, and he knew exactly what you were going to do because it was his plan. It was his scheme. So you get there, and he just picked them apart, and being a Raiders fan, you don't get to the Super Bowl all that often. It's not the 70s anymore. So, yeah, that kind of.
I've never been in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well.
It probably won't change.
No,
not unless you're buying a ticket.
Well, I mean, you look at it this way, Paul. It's kind of glass half empty, glass half full. At least people don't make fun of well, Rich Gannon won a Super Bowl. One of those things.
Yeah,
Right?
that's true. But at the same time, you could say, well, we got a Super Bowl. But yeah, I mean, it's been since the, I think the 80s since they've won a Super Bowl. So, and it was early 80s too at that.
Wasn't Rich
But-
Gannon the MVP that year though?
Was he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was.
I believe he was.
I think so too. I mean, he was. That just shows you how watered down that era was of quarterbacks. That you get a guy like him who could win a.
It's Michael Vick.
Michael Vick. I don't even think Michael Vick was in the league yet.
Yeah, he was.
If anything, he was a rookie.
Second year, I think. First or second year, yeah.
How about this? I was watching a thing yesterday on left-handed quarterbacks. There's only one left. Does anybody know who it is?
In the NFL right now?
Yes.
Is he a starter?
He's got to be a backup.
Technically, he's a starter. He's injured.
Wow. Oh, Tua.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. One lefty quarterback left. And can you name the other one who was there before him? He's still in the league. This is the coach.
Is it Leftwich?
Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
Oh,
Leftwich is a righty, isn't he?
He's ready.
Yeah.
He's a
I
right
don't know. I was just guessing.
Gannon did win it in 02. I looked up his stats right now. 4,689 yards, 26 touchdowns, 10 picks.
26 touchdowns wouldn't even get you an All-Pro
That's
anymore.
a low bar.
Yeah.
4,600 yards.
46.
4,600.
Matt Stafford did that
To
every
who?
year in Detroit.
It says he led the league that year, though, in passing.
4600 yards, I hope so. You could have
Yards,
$5
yeah.
grand.
Yeah. But I mean, think about that.
Detroit every
He
year.
threw for almost 5,000 yards and only 26 touchdowns. So they were just
Tom
eating
Brady
up
on
big chunks of yards in the middle of the field, and then
418 completions.
A lot of check-in.
618 attempts.
So what does that average after the pass? 10 yards a pass.
About 10 yards.
About 10 yards.
completion. A completion. The pass would be like 7.
Right.
yeah. So he was throwing for a first down almost every time he threw the ball.
Well, completed. Every time he
Touchdown
completed.
leader was
completed.
28.
Well, apparently he didn't have too many in the Super Bowl, or else he'd have a ring.
Yeah.
Brad Johnson, though, holds that card.
Yeah,
The
he does.
Brad.
Well, don't get me wrong. They had a great defense too, though. Tampa had a great defense, but what's that?
Weren't there 2 pick sixes that I remember? I seem to remember 2 pick sixes.
I think so. I mean, like I said, they just dismantled the Raiders that game. I mean, plus like this center went crazy and was in Tijuana.
What?
I forgot it. Who was the other guy? Giants. Giants guy he got the Super Bowl. He quit. Was it a center? Somebody like that? I forget. I don't know. Regardless, sports can be depressing sometimes, but it can also be jubilating. That's one for Scrabble. Let's go to Would You Rather, brought to you by our friends over at Baird Brothers Fine Hard Woods. Would you rather play football in the rain and the sleet and the lightning and the thunder, or would you rather play on turf during the rain?
I would not want to play on turf.
With all that stuff going on?
It could be negative 20 degrees. I'd rather play on grass.
Interesting. Like turf nowadays, not turf.
Yeah,
As for
natural
turf.
grass.
Not your turf.
Yeah, natural grass all day. Temperatures outside.
Okay. When?
Yeah, I would play natural grass. There's something about it. I feel like it'd be more padded than the turf would be.
In baseball, you're right. The smells of baseball, the smells of football. Nope. I know the smells of football, and I do not
Grass
like
and
them.
ass.
Yeah, that's it, buddy. Grass and ass. Paul, how about you?
Sorry, I walked away there for a second.
Would you rather play on turf or natural grass when it's raining, snowing, all that stuff? Inclement weather.
Boy. Bad weather. Yeah, I still think I'd pick natural grass. Yeah, I mean, there's just nothing like it. I mean, I never had a chance to play on turf, but I mean, the natural grass part, just the feel of the grass, and I mean, yeah, it gets a little muddy, and your cleats might slip a little bit, but I mean, there's just something about playing on natural grass. It's great.
Rob?
Like we were talking about the other day, too many knee injuries on turf. Give me grass all day long.
I would go on turf. Like, at least I know, like, the worst thing that's going to happen to me is I'm going to slip. Like, you're not going to rip up grass. Like, I remember being on the grass fields, and like, your spikes are ripping up that, because if it's soggy, if it's soaked, it's that turf is coming up. The sod is coming up.
Well, we used to do a trick. We used to spray our cleats with 40, so we were pretty. It does work. So the grass.
What does it do?
It basically repels the dirt.
It doesn't stick to your cleats.
Right.
But what DJ's saying is when you went to dig in, you were digging just chunks of dirt out, and now you're leaving holes, and you're slipping and sliding, and
yeah, but like for short people, and I'm included in this. If we don't have like super long legs, we don't make those quick turns. We don't really have those long extended legs that just kind of get those. Sure, I'm not going to finish the statement. If you're just going to laugh and make fun of me on it,
finish, please, by all means.
I'm good. Next.
I don't know where you were going with that.
He's like trying to say short guys' legs aren't powerful enough to leave big divots in the grass.
No, I'm not going to repeat what I said. Statement is over. Next.
I disagree with that. We're lower to the ground. We have to dig in more. We don't have the leverage of giants like Quinn. What are you giggling at?
Giant. I don't know. Everybody's making fun of me, so I'm laughing.
Bigger than you, little boy.
I'm laughing at everybody.
I was gonna say he can eat peanuts off your head.
I'll tell you something. Everybody's getting a laugh from me today. Okay.
You're the kind of guy I find at the concert so I could stand behind because I know I could see over top of you.
Well, that's good because I wouldn't want you to be in front of me. Blocking my damn view.
He's the kind of guy that buys better seats.
Facts.
Somehow we stumbled our way onto the concert scene. All right. We went all around. That was your Would You Rather, brought to you by our friends of Bear Brother. I blame this on the electricity because we have not been on the rails yet today, boys. We had such a good show yesterday. I received so many text messages. Rob actually replayed it on his Facebook page. And we're off the rails.
Welcome to Trumbull County.
This is it. This is how you guys live out here.
We do our own thing.
We are in Leavittsburg, the home of the Brave Vikings, and they've got a game tomorrow, which is pretty big. Billy already said 4 versus 5. This one is a lot of I don't want to say stipulations, of speculation on it because this is one that, like you said, what was it, 55-54?
55-54. Brookfield went for a 2-point conversion to win it with no time remaining in a playoff game and didn't get across the goal line.
That was you and Jeff call. I remember that.
Jeff hit his head on the ceiling of the press box.
Real quick, let's get to some sports. Let's talk about MLB right now. Kind of surprising last night that the Dodgers didn't just blow away with it. They end up with the win. Now they play San Francisco. On the other side, we've already talked about the Yankees losing to the Red Sox. That sets up Red Sox versus the Rays. Do you like any of those teams in those two games to do damage?
I like both.
Do you really?
Yeah, I like both. I like the Red Sox and their depth and their. Yeah, remember the Red Sox were in first place for 3/4 of the season in the AL East, and the Dodgers. They're defending world champs, and they don't have Bauer, which, whatever. But they have a great pitching staff. We talk about the top 3 pitchers probably in baseball. You could argue they're the top 3 pitchers in baseball with Scherzer, with Buehler, and obviously Kershaw. Kershaw has had some woes in the postseason, but last year he kind of corrected them.
Do you think Kershaw's still the top pitcher? Speculation.
Would you pitch him game 1 if you had an opportunity against anybody?
Scherzer's my guy. Scherzer's a dog. And I was upset when they took him out last night. I remember texting you guys.
He was too. He wasn't happy about it.
No, but he's a gamer. And like, I read that Kershaw could have played quarterback in football because he was with Stafford. They were best
Mhm.
friends.
Yeah.
If he was right-handed. Like that was in the documentary. They said that if he was right-handed, he would have been a great NFL quarterback.
Yeah, because lefty quarterbacks stink,
It's true. It's true.
except for Steve Young.
Good cover.
Mike Vick stunk.
How many Super Bowls you win?
No.
Come talk to me later.
Wow.
You're a Browns fan. We don't have Super Bowls either.
Well, and if you ask wide receivers don't like receiving a ball from a lefty because the ball spins a different way, and they say that it's tougher to catch a left-handed quarterback's ball.
Mark Chase.
When Joe Montana moved out of San Francisco and Steve Young they trained the equipment manager to start throwing with his left hand.
I
Or Jerry Rice.
think they did something with the machine too, the gun machine as well, to make it spin left-handed.
It's
Reverse
just, how you,
cycle.
yeah, it's just how you rotate it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like these lefties, my wife's a lefty, so I can't go too far into the abyss with this.
It's true.
I don't trust them.
Yeah, both my brothers are left-handed.
I'm left-handed.
Left-handed people are
I
weird.
stand by my word.
That hurts.
I like lefties are just weird. They're just quirky.
Yeah, they're different.
What are you trying to cut me out?
I'm done. Done for the. I'm gonna.
Oh wow, you
Okay.
met your 6-word maximum. Rob, how about you? You trust lefties?
What's that?
Do you trust left-handed people?
Me personally, no. No,
knew I
because I mean, there's a reason why there's not that many of them, and I'm sure that the left-handed people out there listening to the show might be like, we're a rarity because we're special and things like that. I don't buy it. I think something's wrong with you, and you should have worked on that when you were a young kid. No offense, of course.
Well, the reason I feel they're special is because their mommy and daddy told them how special they were when they were kids.
Is that what happens to redhead kids too? Do they say, "Hey, you're special. You don't have brown hair or blonde hair like everybody else"?
I wouldn't know.
Not in my house growing up.
What speech did you get?
Beatings.
Oh, speech? Yeah. Well, you know what you never heard in my family growing up? Shotgun. Nobody wanted that front seat. We were all stuck in the back trying to dodge those haymakers. I'd be like, "Hey, Mom, check out that bird." What the?
Oh my gosh! All right, all right. Maybe it is Depression Awareness Day. Let's go, Billy. I've been interested, and I don't know if anybody else has been interested in this as much as I have, but since the San Diego Padres did not make the playoffs
and fired their coach,
and fired their coach,
Mhm.
and are probably going to make giant cuts. What team are we expecting you to jump on board now? Don't say the Astros.
The Padres.
Even for the postseason?
I can watch any baseball. Like I'm that guy. Like I can sit down and watch anybody and appreciate baseball, any except for whatever team playing Cleveland right now.
I don't know that I've ever sat with you and watched something and you didn't have a rooting interest.
I like a lot of players in the game, and I doing a lot of lessons and kind of going off of other players. Like I'm intrigued on like how players hit, how they throw, what they do, what they're mentally, their pitch or pitchers. Like I take away a lot of different things from a lot of pro guys. Some good, some bad, and then try to incorporate it into players that I have and players that I might have down the road. Hey, I know what this kind of looks like, and how can I mirror effect?
Okay. Who do you want to win?
Who do I want to win?
That should have been the question from the start. I'm sorry. Sandbag you.
Not the Astros and not the Dodgers. But I think the Dodgers will win.
If you had 20 Skittles, you'd put it on the Dodgers?
I'd put it on Dodgers, yeah.
Quinn?
Dodgers.
Paul?
My buddy's a Dodger fan. That's the only reason.
I think the San Francisco has 0.
That's what I'm taking.
I wouldn't do that. They might get swept.
No. We won the West. Paul, how about you?
Well, I'm rooting for the Braves.
I forgot the praise from the play.
Yeah, they're playing Milwaukee. They got Milwaukee. They start their series tomorrow.
They might win that series.
And
I would say they have a great chance to win that series.
I can't name 2 pitchers for the Braves.
Anderson.
Freed.
Who was the dude that blew his Achilles? Walking into the dugout?
Acuna.
No.
He did blow his Achilles though.
Did he? There was a pitcher that blew something out walking to the dugout. Paul doesn't know.
He only falls when they're good in the playoffs.
That's it.
No.
Because my favorite pitcher is John Smoltz.
Fried's one of their good pitchers too. No, I'm rooting for them. I mean, I just find it interesting that both teams that won the wild card were the winners move on to play a team that's already in their division. So you've got San Francisco facing off against the Dodgers, and then you've got Boston playing Tampa Bay. So I mean, it was
like your lucky stars that you're not playing the Dodgers. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, that would be a sweep. But that'd be is it still 3 game? Best of 3?
I think it's 5.
Best of 5. I'm sorry. Best of 5.
Yeah, best of 5. Then
7. Yeah, 5-7 in the World Series. Yeah, I mean, listen, St. Louis last night, they had a shot. I mean, they came in on a 17-game winning streak. I mean, they were a hot team, and they pushed them all the way. I mean, that was the bottom of the 9th with 2 outs. So, and then the guy hits a walk-off. So, I mean, it was pop up or a ground out away from going into extra innings. So, I mean, listen, they weren't a slouch team there. So, I mean, San Francisco is going to have their hands full with the Dodgers.
I would say that the St. Louis Cardinals is the best run organization in all of sports.
I can agree to that. Baseball-wise, yes, because they're considered a small market, and they do big things for being a small market team.
It's not so much that they just pay guys or whatnot, but it's just they are relevant in every decade.
Who do you say? You're questioning that, but who would your answer be then?
And I'm thinking. I'm trying to not be running point and agree with everything everybody says. So I'm thinking. I mean, that's the Yankees. The Yankees are relevant.
Well, it's not so much just being relevant. That was just the point I was making. So like bang for your buck. You're talking about using your farm system. You're talking about how you spend your money. You're talking about attendance. You're talking about all those things combined, and not just
I'll say it's not an NBA team.
No, NBA teams are just terrible.
I would argue the Patriots. Especially in the last 2 decades.
But I would go back all the way forever.
Well, that's not fair because the NFL only goes back.
You can go back to the
55 years.
I mean, before Tom Brady got there and Belichick, Patriots were laughing stock.
They've been to a Super Bowl.
They were laughing
85
and got crushed.
Well, I mean,
the Browns.
Still, I mean, never been to a Super Bowl. Never been to a Super Bowl.
You could say the Patriots after if they come back and do some things out without Tom Brady, but you can't say the Patriots right now with Tom Brady was there for 20 years.
Well,
you've seen what happened as soon as he left.
That's not fair. That's like saying that you can't count the years that Mark McGwire was with the Cardinals.
I'm not saying the Patriots aren't a good organization. I think the Patriots are an excellent organization. I think they should be a model organization. All I'm saying is give them a few years, and if they could keep coming back to the playoffs without Tom Brady, then we could throw that in the mix as well.
The trap's out there. I know what you're trying to get me to say. You're trying to get me to say the Steelers.
I would be okay with the Steelers mix. I would be okay with that. I would say the Steelers are a really, really, really good run organization.
Their front office, absolutely.
I would absolutely put them in the top 5 of all time.
I agree with that.
And their
I'm a Browns fan. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, their ownership, the general manager, like their front office, like they do things a certain way, and if you don't agree with it, then hit the road. They don't care.
I would argue the Pittsburgh team.
You can put the Penguins in that mix.
That's where I think the Pittsburgh team comes in, because of what they've done. I mean, yes, you have to have players to be successful.
Yeah, but that's part of being a really well-run organization. Is you have good players. You're able to out talent. That's part of it.
Yeah, like they've drafted good players.
Yeah, they acquired good players via trade and free agency and things of that nature.
You're talking about baseball. That's the first thing is you need to have good scouting reports on players.
I got to be honest with you. I was watching that game last night, and I read a report that Ben Cherington, who's the GM for the Pirates, is going to spend money this year. And I almost I almost started lighting off fireworks at 10 o'clock at night or whatever that was, because that was more exciting to me than any Steelers game that will happen in the next 10 years. That's a guarantee.
I will say, in that division, if you spend a little, you don't even have to spend all that kind of money. Because, I mean, Milwaukee's not out here spending buku bucks. The Cubs are. The Reds have.
I saw it.
Well,
It was
they got St. Louis in there too, right? Isn't St. Louis in theirs?
Oh, yeah.
But St. Louis doesn't spend buku money.
They spent enough.
They do spend some money.
They
though.
got Nolan Arenado.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. I mean, I just look at like who could trade away or release Albert Pujols, who was a really good player for them for years, and then go to the World Series the next year.
The Nationals.
Yeah, because they got rid of
Bryce Harper.
Yeah,
Harper,
dude.
and they win.
I wish I had what I saw last night, and I'm trying to find it, so please stay with me. Did anybody see Juan Soto, by the way, in the front row?
Yeah.
Wearing a Trey Turner jersey, and the hitting coach was wearing a Scherzer jersey?
That's cool.
That's badass. People were all over him because they thought that Soto was wearing his own jersey, which I still think is baller. Like,
That'd
if you're in the
be cool.
major leagues, guess what? Wear your own jersey. Like, I'm mad at it.
Why would people be upset about that?
Because I forget what it was in the comments.
I would absolutely do that. 1,000.
Who you wearing? Me.
Who would
I'm
possibly
wearing-
have an issue with anybody wearing their own jersey? That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
To another game, though, that is, there's a little bit of tackiness to it.
Oh, that to me that says troll all day, and I'll do it.
But to wear your former teammates' jersey, because they did play for the Nationals, now they play for the Dodgers. To wear your teammates' jersey, I thought that was all the way, and it might have been his jersey because it looked like it was painted on, straight up.
Either way, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, that's pretty cool. I'm cool with things like that. I mean, it's a cool story.
It was a stat, and forgive me on the number. It said the Yankees, since they last won their championship in 2009.
Sure.
8 or 9.
2008, 2009, have spent $2 billion on players. $2 billion. I wish that the Pirates would spend $38.50 in a bag of
Peanuts.
Pop Rocks. Like $2 billion.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
I'd be interested to see how much they've made though. Also,
They're not spending money without
Well,
making
yeah.
it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, their TV contracts and everything else.
Yes, alone, the YES network pays for all of that stuff. And that's why, like we got into it, on Running Point a couple months ago, because, one of our people, or analysts, said that all the money is made off of tickets paid.
No. After that,
Trent Conway says, I like wearing a Nickelback t-shirt to an AC/DC concert.
I bet Trent Conway wears overalls to the
Board meetings.
Cub Scouts concert.
Dukes of Hazzard. Paul, did you show him that picture?
Yeah, I sent the picture to the group.
Let me tell you something. Whoever created that picture is a terrorist. Now, they are widely considered a terrorist because that should never have been released to the public.
facts.
Because that's going to find its way out somewhere, and I hold you personally responsible.
That's
I'm
good.
looking at you, Bob, because I'm guaranteeing it came from you.
Who?
I guarantee it didn't. I'm pretty good when it comes to memes. If people send me pictures of other people and ask me to make memes about them. So
then it had to be Carrie.
Yeah, we're all in the band. Nickelback, hanging out.
Carrie. Got it.
As long as I'm the lead singer, I'm good.
Oh, DJ's the lead singer.
And I'm singing D12 my band.
He's
That's old
Chad
school.
Coker.
I don't know. We need to take a break. I know that we're 40 minutes in, so we appreciate you standing by. We'll talk some more sports when we come back on the Ysn Power Hour.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
For a great vehicle and a great experience, come to Boardman Mitsubishi today. As always, our full lineup of Mitsubishi models comes with a standard 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Boardman Mitsubishi, your hometown Mitsubishi dealer since 1999.
Coca's Pizza, always supporting our community and our local athletes. Stop in on game day or score big and have it delivered right to your door. Check out our daily specials at cocaspizza.com. That's Coca's Pizza, we serve it hot.
At Hubbard Chevrolet, Hubbard can help you get the financing you need, regardless of your situation. I'm Tony Page, and I've helped thousands of customers in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania buy a vehicle. Visit HubbardChevy.com to get pre-approved. Remember, folks, Hubbard can help.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. DJ Yoakley, Billy Mack. We've got Rob, and we have, I think I can hear these guys talk.
Yep.
Test.
I can't hear Rob. Anyway, let's go to, we talked about baseball. Let's talk about this game, Billy. You're the guy that knows this team better than anybody. What are your expectations for the game tomorrow night against Brookfield?
Well, I think for me, it's going to be one of those battle-tested games, and we got some weather that may be in the mix. On a neutral site, no weather, I would say LeBray's got to be a little bit of a favorite here just because of their overall speed and ability to get to the edge. Trayvon Drake is the difference maker in any time he's on the field. I mean, this guy can do a lot of different things. He can line up on the outside. He's played running back a little bit when Devin Carter needs a blow or can't really find a hole for a little bit. And then Trayvon kind of comes in. He's that X factor that we talked about, that everybody's always talking about. If everybody had a player like Trayvon Drake, every coach would be pretty excited to have that on their roster. But and even defensively, and he moved positions this year to turn into an outside linebacker, and he's a ball hawk. He's got a couple interceptions, he's got a fumble recovery, he blitzes, he's got a couple sacks. I mean, he's kind of the guy that when you need a big play, it's always Trayvon, And then you have your old faithful and Devin Carter, and you just hand him the ball a lot of times, and you're just killing clock, and you're just 4 yards, 5 yards, and then he pops one, and then you got Aiden Stevens. Aiden Stevens, guy going Division I to play college football next year at Yale. We were talking to Coach Armini before the show today, and Trayvon's got a lot of looks too. A lot of D2 looks, had some opportunities Division I, and he's still, kind of figuring it out and enjoying that process as he should. I mean, a lot of parents put a lot of pressure on, that process, but they always forget to kind of enjoy it. You're basically being courted by a lot of these colleges, so enjoy that process and take your time. There's no rush. Just because some other guys and friends and whatnot are making decisions to go play somewhere, you should take as long as you want to make sure it's a good fit for you. But on the other side with Brookfield, you have an offense that spreads the ball around. They like to throw the ball a little bit. They can run it a little bit as well. Defensively, they're a little bit better than they were last year. And the difference between the Brookfield team a year ago to this year is last year they were a one-man show. It was absolutely a one-man show. And this year they'll spread it around. They'll dink and duck you. They almost bore you to sleep, and then they try to take the top off. Now, what I've seen in previous games here, outside of the Garrettsville games where teams have had success, is they try to go over the top against LeBray and LeBray's got caught sleeping. Now, we'll see what happens tomorrow night, but that would be a game plan that I would try to exploit, is trying to go over the top. But here's the problem with that. Aiden Stevens is a safety, and he's a great athlete. So you make a bad throw and you throw underneath, he's taking that to the house. The guy's got 3 kickoff returns this year for a touchdown, had many last year. So I expect this game to be the game of the night. I really do. I really think both teams are bound for the playoffs. They obviously played against each other last year. And this is an old school rivalry that dates back, back to the county days when with the Paul Munson, only like 3 teams got into the playoffs. So the TAC 8
did rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah. So I mean, back in the TAC 8 days when I played in it, it was always LeBray and Brookfield somewhere near that top of the list. So, and we were talking to Coach Armini before, and they said the kids love this. They circled this. This is the game they really like, and they circle and they get up for this game because they know it's physical. And it's going to be chirpy. They're going to talk to each other. There's going to be some smack talk going on the field. Make sure you tune into this one.
Yeah, and on the other side, I think Brookfield is a team that is uber physical, like more physical than they have to be sometimes.
Right. Which gets them into trouble.
Yep. And there's gonna be a lot that rides on that, I think. But listen, Brookfield's no slouch, and Coach Armini said it. Like we circle this game, but this is also a game that lets you know here in week 8 where you're going to be in week 10, or week 11, I should say.
Last year, I believe I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. They lost this regular season game and then won the playoff game. So a lot of familiarity with these guys. They know each other. They know the grind that they had last year. And I'm telling you right now, you should go back in that archive and buy that game because it was that good of a game. It just nobody can stop anybody. Now the difference from last year, all 11 guys are back starting for LeBray for their defense, and they were young and they were still trying to figure it out. So far this year, LeBray has done a much better job outside of the Garrettsville game of stopping the run.
Thoughts on
Michael? Yes, Michael Yancey's asking, are we covering Garfield Brookfield next week? Yeah, we will be at that game. It's at Brookfield. We have our announcers set and ready to go for next week. So, I mean, back-to-back weeks is some big games,
And
but
we have some breaking news, Paul, too, that Garfield did pick up a game at Rootstown.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have. I mean, we're set. We're maxed out on announcers this week.
Yeah, because if Garfield would have been at home like they should have been, they do their own broadcast there. And since they go on the road now, we're short, and it was last minute as well. So unfortunately, we won't have that game tomorrow. But I mean, credit to them. That's a 4-12 matchup in Division 5. So for Rootstown to agree to that game, I mean, they potentially could almost play themselves out of the playoffs.
Again, I was asking Billy, who the hell does Rootstown play? Because they've played every COVID team we've had in this area.
Right. So whoever they played must have had COVID as well this week.
They must be and no disrespect to Rootstown, they must be the luckiest team ever because they're just basically they're the life of the party. They're like, all right, buddy, let's go out and play.
Yeah, they were supposed to play Grand Valley, and Grand Valley's down. So now they picked up Garfield. They lost a game earlier in the year to Pie Valley due to COVID, and they picked up Liberty. So
there was another. I can't remember who else they picked up, a local team, because we tried to send them there.
Champion?
That's what it was.
That was week 2. They played Champion. But it wasn't a makeup game. That was a regularly scheduled game. So, yeah, and they played JFK last week. So,
but Brookfield and LeBray will be on the network, though. You can watch that one instead.
Was that a makeup, the JFK game? Or that was regular scheduled?
That was regularly scheduled.
Nice play, Billy. I don't think I didn't catch that. Nice play. From your standpoint, guys, what games are you watching tomorrow?
Well,
I'll be at the
Go ahead, Rob.
Poland. I was going to say I'll be at the Poland Lakeview game.
Battle of the Bulldogs.
That's not going to be much of a battle, though. I mean, come on, call it spade what it is.
Paul, I know you'll be at the South Range game. Which game are you looking most to see the scores? Maybe watching on the audible call.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you're looking at like ranked teams right now, the game that he has, Billy and Quinn have tomorrow, right where you guys are at, LeRae Brookfield. That's going to be a big game. Just on seeing two teams that are ranked right next to each other, battling out in the same division. I think West Branch and Alliance could be a good game as well. That game's at Alliance. Michael and Chuck will be there for that game.
Yeah, because we finally get a chance to see how good they have been. We've kind of compared West Branch and Salem similar, like they're in the same kind of boat, and we're really looking forward to that Week 10 matchup, as we should. But this kind of gives us a gauge of how good are both of these two teams. Now they're going to play a common opponent, one that beat Salem. So if Alliance pulls a little bit of an upset here, maybe not so fast.
Well, here's the other thing is, to me, it's not that Alliance was necessarily better than Salem. It's the matchups that they had. Kind of like when the Browns match up against the Chiefs, the matchups favor the Browns.
Right.
But if you play the Bills, the matchups favor the Bills if you're the Browns. So I think it's one of those situations where Alliance matched up perfectly against Salem for what they do, and they did what they had to do. They executed. I'm not sure that it's the same way, because Salem and West Branch are, to me, polar opposites. Salem's built on speed and energy drinks, and West Branch is built on like moving country markers down the road.
Well,
that's it.
With the weather, like again, we talked about it.
That's true.
With the weather, what kind of speed do you have that can move on the turf and not slip and slide and all that? Like the weather's going to play a part in tomorrow night's game. The first time I think all year the weather is going to play a part in any of these games.
It will be the first time. We had a Thursday night that had some rain, but it cleared up. This will be the first Friday that it sounds like we're going to have some rain.
Yeah, and I'll be interested too to see the other game that got made up last minute too. Is that Villa Angelo St. Joseph taking on Ursuline? I think it'll be one of those games where Ursuline, you've got ready for one opponent all week, and then all of a sudden, boom, halfway through the week you get the script flipped on you and you got to go play somebody else now. But I think they're going to be fine, because looking at Villa Angelo St. Joseph, they're not that good. And the teams
for Mooney last week, by the way.
So them playing that team, I think they're going to be just fine. But it'll be interesting to see how soon they take care of business. If it takes them a little bit to get the adjustments down to a different team you haven't prepared for all week, and then by the halftime you just go ahead and take care of business. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting. You feel bad for JFK and Columbiana right now because they weren't able to find any opponents for the week. So they're sitting there not getting a week of football in. So,
and Columbiana, I don't think can get a game in because they already committed to week 11, correct?
Yeah, they moved that game to week 11, but if they wanted to play somebody, they could have, and then you just don't play that East Palestine game in week 11. But
that's why they signed a contract, and that's why Columbiana is not getting a team this year or this week rather, is because they're anticipating that week 11 matchup against the Bulldogs.
Plus, it's probably frowned upon because it's
an EOAC game.
It's a league matchup game.
Yeah, and really look around. There's really nobody Columbiana would want to match up against right now.
No, so they're gonna take the week off and just hang out and say, listen, we both know you and us aren't going to go to the playoffs. So hey, EP, let's just move our game to week 11 and not worry about it. So
and they're banged up. Clippers are banged up, so this week off could do them some good heading down the home stretch. It's not likely that they make the playoffs this year. However, you just never know. You never ever know with this stuff. So. I'm looking forward to that week 11 matchup. I am, that's as we're going to make an announcement here shortly, not today, but in the coming week, about how things are going to work for the playoffs on YSN. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but I'll give you a little hint. That one's going to be free. So there you go. Quinn, hit it. It's time for the Joe Dickey Electric. What's Your Spark? Presented by our friends over at Dickey Electric. Visit them at DickeyElectric.com. Anything commercial, residential, anything?
Joe Dickey Electric.
Electrical. You go to Joe Dickey Electric at DickeyElectric.com.
I was already like in my head, like into my.
I know you got a big one. We're letting you go last. Quinn, you're up first.
All right. Mine's a little dumb, but just price of gas. I paid over $40 to fill up a Honda. Why? It's a Honda. It shouldn't be like that. It should run on like solar panels or something.
America.
Because I had to drive you.
Yeah. Try putting $70 in a truck. Then come complain to me.
You can't fit in the Honda.
I didn't.
Gas prices are
I
horrible.
did. I fit in your Honda the one day. Pushed the seat back a little bit more, but I couldn't get out of that little low rider.
Little low rider.
Low rider.
All right, head over to the big boss man with the big truck.
Yeah, mine's a negative spark. Mine is people who can't clean up after themselves. It's ridiculous because they're going to ruin it for other people. And when I tell those other people that it's ruined for them and who did it and why, we might have some people putting trash cans. So listen, just clean up after yourself. It's not hard. It's really simple. You pick your garbage up, you walk 10 feet, you throw it in the garbage can. It's not difficult. You know, sorry that mom and dad clean up after you at home and you don't have to do that kind of stuff. But when you're not at home, nobody else is there to be your maid and clean up after you. So clean up your garbage.
Paul, what's worse, not picking up your garbage or bullying?
Not cleaning up your garbage.
That's worse.
I think so. Yeah, clean your garbage up. Listen, I'm not gonna get into a conversation about stuff, but I'm not opposed to somebody getting
careful
reprimanded for not putting their garbage where it belongs.
All right. And the PSA from Rob today is about bullying.
No. It's a positive. Just a shout out to all my girls and boys in blue. I'm friends with quite a few cops, and I just want you to know that we're still out here rooting for you. We don't take your jobs for granted. I don't care if you're in Canfield, Poland, or Youngstown. You know, you decided to technically put your life on the line every day for us, and there's a lot of us out here appreciate it, and we just want you to know that. And P.S., if you are a man, stay your ignorant ass out of the ladies' room. Thank you.
What? What?
You heard me.
I don't even want to know. All right, there it is. Mine is going to be a positive spark. Of course, we're here in La Brea. Love it here. Got to talk to one of my favorite coaches, John Armini, before he went on the field for practice. And just naturally, some of the things he had to say put a smile on my face because I'm a competitive guy. I'll leave it at that.
It's awesome because not every coach enjoys coming over and talking to us a little bit. He's running a practice and whatnot, and it's always nice to see when coaches will come over and appreciate what we do and trying to promote them
Big
and
fan.
their program.
Big fan. All right, let's hear it. I've been propping this up. Here we go.
So my spark is about my coaching organization and my staff. And I'll leave it there with not naming any names, but I had some scumbag come on Facebook and we had some guys that were promoting, Ben Slanker just committed to Ohio University and it's a big deal to these kids. And somebody decided to, all the haters come in here and says, well, every kid, it's not hard to coach those type of kids and whatnot. It's so weird to me because, Nick Saban doesn't get poo-pooed on because he has the best guys at his school every year. Urban Meyer, when he's at Ohio State, they always said he's a great coach. They said the same thing about Trussell, that, these certain programs, when you get the best players, there's a reason these really good players want to play for us. Not to mention, we've been doing it for a long time, and we were Baird brothers first.
With the Astro hat on.
Yeah. So it's not like it was just one organization. I mean, I love our organization. We have great people. We have great all the way through all staffs. And I'm just sick of it. People hate, and that's what they do, and they get all bent out of shape for it. But until you get in the inside and all the hard work that everybody puts in, like I'm not here for it anymore. And I don't have to be nice about it. Like I don't care.
Hate because you ain't me, right?
It's just I love what we do. I love promoting our kids. It's why I'm here, part of YSN, and I'm sick of the people. You're just upset that you couldn't be on the staff, and we would love to take everybody. Unfortunately, we can't. It just is what it is.
We
If you don't have any haters, you ain't doing enough.
You're damn right. There it is.
Facts.
Perfect. That's a Kobe statement straight up.
And it just dropped like 15 degrees here.
Yeah, and it's about to pick up wind, so we got to get out of here. That's going to do it for our show today. We will see you guys
Michael
tomorrow.
Yancey throwing us some nice words there. This comment there. I was going to read it. It's okay. Michael Yancey says, it's awesome that you guys do what you do, by the way. He started watching us last year during COVID. He just wants to say thank you to us. He's just a little sour because Garfield was supposed to be their senior parent night tomorrow night, and now they lose it, so they go away. He said, so please forgive me. He goes, he's followed all the articles and everything that we do. He doesn't agree with the advisors and everything that's going on. That's his negative spark. But he goes, you guys at YSN are awesome. I don't know many areas that have something like this. Keep it up. So
appreciate it, man. So much. We appreciate everything that all the support. I mean, we got some on Facebook and social media today, and it's overwhelming. It is, because we're not used to it. We're used to fighting battles, right? We're used to us against the world. So we appreciate it more than you will ever know. So if you see somebody out there, especially at a game, walk up to them. We're approachable people, and tell them how much you appreciate. Not me. Like I get it. But if you see any of these other guys out there, I mean, we got 46 or 47 guys that call games for us. Go out there and say thank you. You know, they're doing it. They're not getting paid what they nearly deserve, and we're working on that. But I can promise you that they would appreciate things like Michael just said. So thank you very much. That's going to do it for our show today. Tune in tomorrow, 3 to 4, right here on YSN. Tonight at 5 o'clock, we will have the Prime Time Live. Thank you, Billy. See you later.
Peace.